Hello, Graeme Simsion, and welcome to the Better Reading Office.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Now, I'm almost positive that you all know Graeme. Graeme is the author of the Rosie Project, and then followed by the Rosie Effect. Now, I think we've sold, over 4 million copies of both books?
Well, around the world, yeah.
Yeah, around the world. That's pretty good. Probably one of Australia's best-selling authors. They've also been translated in, 40 different languages?
Yeah, 40 languages.
Yeah, so Graeme just decided to pop in and say hi to us today. He did that because he has a new book out, and it's called
The Best of Adam Sharp.
The Best of Adam Sharp. So do you want to tell us a little bit about The Best of Adam Sharp? And also, please note that it will be in store on the 19th of September. So if you're planning to rush out and buy it, which I'm hoping you are, just remember it's out on the 19th of September. Now, Graeme Simsion, please tell us about The Best of Adam Sharp.
Well, Adam Sharp is an information technology contractor by day, an occasional piano player by night, a man who's in a 20-year relationship that has got a little dull and boring. And one day, up on his computer screen, he gets a 2-letter message. Hi, from the great love of his life, the woman who got away 20 years ago. And she's back. So the story is what happens from there. She's in a relationship, he's in a relationship, what are they going to do?
Now, I'm talking to Graeme Simsion, who you will all know, I'm sure, the author of the Rosie Project. He's talking to us about his new book, The Best of Adam Sharp. He's just pitched it to me. It sounds like a romance. It's fiction.
Well,
it's not autobiographical, is it?
All of my books are autobiographical to some extent. I inhabit all of my characters. But no, this is not the story of my life. And is it a romance? The first half of the book, I guess, is a story of courtship, but in the past. Yeah. But in the present time, we're seeing Adam reconnecting with this woman from the past. And then the second part is quite different. So I see it as sort of high fidelity meets sex, lies and videotape.
Ah, okay, right.
So there's complexity in the second part.
Yeah, there is indeed. Now tell us about the music in the book.
Okay.
Do you personally have a love for music?
Oh, yeah.
So that's where that's come
and
from.
And popular music in particular. But I came from a screenwriting background. And of course, when you watch a movie, the soundtrack of many movies is absolutely a central part of them. I mean, movies like The Big Chill and so forth have iconic soundtracks. And I wanted to write a book that had a soundtrack. That on the page you would see the names of songs, I guess, and bits of songs, and they would be familiar enough to you that, or you'd perhaps look them up on the net, listen to them, download them, and they would accompany the story. So it was a challenging sort of job because I had to pick an era. Yeah. And I ended up with music from about 1962 to 1972. I mean, there's older songs and there's newer songs, but this is music that so many people know. It's amazing. My kids know these songs. My father perhaps not so much, but my kids know these songs. They're familiar to most of us. And my goal was that the average reader would know about half the songs. And it doesn't matter if you don't, but if you do, you get this extra layer of experience.
So is there going to be a soundtrack to the book at some point?
There's a downloadable playlist on the text publishing website.
Fantastic.
Spotify playlist. Or obviously you can download the songs yourself or get them from your own collection.
And you listen to them while you're reading?
That's the idea. You can actually play the songs while you're reading, or before you're reading, or after you've read them to recall scenes. Yeah.
Now, listen, Graeme, you've had such an interesting life. I mean, you're pretty much the Rosie Project was your debut fiction, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And how has that changed your life, just in terms of writing and in terms of popularity? I mean, selling 4 million books is no easy feat. I mean, it is life-changing, isn't it?
It wasn't the 4 million. It was really the sort of, about 500,000. The number of books that meant that I could give up my day job. Yeah. And that was a huge life-changing thing, because I always thought that writing fiction would be something I had to do on top of what I did, which was information technology sort of work, to earn an income. So that moment when I realised that I could give that up was fantastic, and just concentrate on being a writer.
Yeah. And how many books do you think you've got in you? Do you think this is just the beginning?
Look, I know what's next. The next book is a book called Left Right, which my wife and I, Anne Bust, who's also a published writer, we're working on together.
Yeah.
Then I'm hoping there'll be a third book in the Rosie series, in the Don series.
Fantastic. I think a lot of people are hoping for that.
And possibly a book of anecdotes, a sort of in the style of David Sedaris. So that's what I've got on my plate for the moment, and we'll see where we go from there.
Now, I'm talking with Graeme Simsion. You will know him. He is the author of the Rosie Project, the Rosie Effect.
And the Best of Adam Sharp.
And we're talking to him, that's right, about the Best of Adam Sharp, which is actually being released on the 19th of September. So hold out from running to the bookstore just this very minute and wait for the 19th and grab yourself a copy or borrow it from the library. And we're really just talking to Graeme, well, I guess a transition from being an IT specialist to being an author. Is it, do you think, I guess it's way more creative?
Well, people always say, what was it like going from a non-creative profession to a creative profession? And that's not really doing information technology justice. People do a lot of very creative work in that field, as they do in most fields.
Yeah.
The trouble is that the average person can't see that it's creative.
That's right.
It's a computer program, it's a computer program.
That's right.
And we have this sort of picture of geeks not being very creative. But look, okay, writing a book is more creative. And the challenge is that you have to be creative all the time. When I was doing information technology, I loved the creative part because it wasn't all of it. Now it's constantly being creative, and you have to work quite hard at doing that.
Now tell us, in terms of telling stories and being a writer, what's the process for you? Is it something that's just in your head for a long time before it hits paper, or is it you sit down and start writing and the idea is coming while you're writing? What's your process?
They talk about the difference between plotters and pantsers.
Yes.
Right by the seat of their pants.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely a plotter. So
I'm kind of not surprised about that.
Well, we come out of a technology background, but more than that, we come out of screenwriting. And screenwriters are notoriously plotters. They do the cards. They lay the whole story out on cards first. And I do that.
Yeah.
I lay out my story. I know exactly where it's going, exactly how it's going to go. Now, of course, when I actually sit down and write it, it changes.
Yeah.
But it changes in a way that I say, okay, that scene's going to go, whatever. I'm still in control of the overall picture.
Yeah.
And that means that I don't have to be too smart. I don't have to invent all of these things at once. I've got the plot, I've got the characters, I can now concentrate on writing well or on the one-liners or the comedy and so on.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Now, is there anything you'd like to say to our Better Reading community just before we sign off?
Well, look, I guess I've already...
Do you want to show them your book?
Yeah. This is it. I mean, Adam Sharp's a piano player, which gives me my excuse to incorporate all of the popular music.
Yeah, your love.
And I'm getting a lot of feedback now, or early feedback on Goodreads from those early readers, those beta testers and so forth. And what they're saying is, positively, it's an easy read. It's a very easy read, but many of them are finding some big questions in the book as well, particularly about the nature of love, about how you make a long-term relationship work.
So if you're
That's
right. So if you're in the mood for a smart romance, is what we'll call it, The Best of Adam Sharp by Graeme Simsion. Thank you so much, Graeme, for coming in today, and thank you for speaking with our Better Reading community.
My pleasure, Cheryl.